Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to Grumpy Monkey Garage. I'm Andrew, that's Mike, the videographer, and sometimes mechanic. It's a lot lately. But,
yeah. You've been busy.
Yeah, it's busy.
All hands on deck.
Literally, as we're filming this, we have 2 more techs out there working on Ultima.
Yeah.
As we speak.
You can also find me on Instagram as at Weird Pigeon Productions and on YouTube as Weird Pigeon Productions.
And yes, he does all my editing. So if you like my editing in my newer videos, that's all him. So there's my shameless plug of you right here.
I appreciate it.
So today we're going to go over customers of all types. Some are just funny stories. Some are general types of customers.
And what to look out for.
I got a sneeze coming.
We're going to have a sneeze randomly in the video.
We're going to randomly have a sneeze.
Be ready.
It keeps it's gonna show up and then it'll go away. And then whoever, one of these customer cars, I'm allergic to something in there because I start sneezing, and I've been in that car today, so it's coming. Just be aware. He who wears headphones, rip.
Oh my goodness! I love how you literally said he who wears headphones, rip, and then you scream.
You couldn't even time that.
I know, that was pretty funny.
We're leaving that. That's staying.
That was hilarious.
That was staying.
That's a blooper, dude. That's a blooper.
He who wears headphones, rip.
He just came out of nowhere and attacked you.
And he left he had nothing to say about it. What a jerk. We're talking about types of customers today, and I've got 15 stories and types of customers that you're going to come across when you run an automotive shop,
including things to look out for,
lots of
deal with
warnings.
This kind of person.
Lots of warnings. Well, not necessarily how to deal with that kind of person, but how to prevent problems.
Yeah.
So sometimes the people who will really just get under your skin, they're not doing it to be mean. It's not malicious. They just don't know. And
you're about to find out with some of these stories, how little people know. Good grief.
So I figure we start with the most common customer that I get that's interesting. I mean, good customers, there's not a lot of stories regarding them because they're just good customers. They come in, I need brakes. Okay, well, it's going to be X price. Okay, great. You do the brake job and they leave. That's simple. That was the story. Yeah. That's it. Those are the ones you want because that's trouble-free. But number 1 on my list here, we've got the ignorant customer. And that's not the stupid customer. Those are 2 different people. The ignorant customer straight up does not know. So they will come in and, hi, what can we do for you today? My car doesn't go.
Okay, what's happening?
What does that mean? What does doesn't go mean? Well, I tried to go to the store and it won't. Well, did it start? Well, they have no idea.
It made a sound.
What?
It made a knocking, squeaking
especially
sound,
when this customer is on the phone. Well, what kind of car do you have? A green one.
What?
That's a real story. I had a customer call me.
What's your year, make, and model?
I said, what kind of car do you have? And she said a green one. That was gonna help me.
Oh yes, the green one. I know exactly what's wrong.
Right.
All the green ones work the exact same. I knew it.
And I don't think that person is mean or trying to be a pain in the ass or anything like that. But at the same time,
it's just crazy about these people.
They don't know, but maybe they know their own thing really well. What if they're I don't know, a master chef, and I can't cook. I have to keep a fire extinguisher in my kitchen. That's a different story. But
what blows my mind is you spend so much on a car, and
have
you
no idea
don't have any clue what any of it is.
No idea. You know what though? I wonder. That's a study we need to do. People who buy their own cars versus people who they're just given the keys.
Yeah.
That particular person who did the green car story, her dad bought her the car. She didn't. That
explains a lot.
Well, no, I wonder if it does explain a lot. I haven't taken a survey. New plan, new video. We're gonna take a survey on people who know anything about their car and did they buy it.
Yeah.
I would wager, just hypothesis. This is a side note hypothesis. People who buy used cars know more about cars than people who buy new cars.
Yeah.
Because in the used car market, you have to check things to make sure you don't get a POS. Whereas in the new car market, it's brand new. What are you going to check? The oil? It's new.
It should be fine. Should be. Because there's some car brands that...
Meanwhile, at the Chrysler dealership...
Yeah,
fresh off the steamy press, it's a steamy pile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ugh.
So you're gonna deal with the ignorant customer a lot. These people aren't bad. They're just they need some help sometimes.
Yeah.
And
you can't knock them for what they don't know.
We had a customer who said that they couldn't see at night, and I was like, maybe they have a headlight out.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to turn the headlights on. They turned it like the one click, so it was on park lights, so just the amber ones came on, and they couldn't see, and they had been driving for years. Like this was not like a teenager who just didn't know. This person had been driving for years and did not know how to turn the headlights on in their car.
How do they not get like pulled over?
Because with the park lights on, the taillights work. This is real stuff that comes in.
It makes you kind of wonder the people who are driving down the street and they don't have their lights on. Like, is it just they don't care? Is it just they don't even know how to turn them on? Like,
right. They think
you
they're
start
on.
thinking these things.
Yeah,
and,
like
man.
That kind of customer just needs extra help. I don't charge any extra for the annoying fee, but I do know of shops who are like, this person is a blockhead. They get a
blockhead price.
They get blockhead prices. I don't do that because like that person right there, when they have a problem, they usually come in because they're like, scary noises, please fix. And
you'll make your money back.
And then that person who doesn't know anything about their car doesn't know anything about car prices, and they get taken advantage of very easily. So don't be dirtbag that does that.
You can. It's just not right.
It's not like no, like don't do that to these
Don't
people
be that
because
guy.
They're gonna have somebody in the family, hopefully, that has like 4 brain cells that get together sometimes, and a collective thought comes out. And they will find out. You can't be a dirtbag.
No.
Got to be the right way. And maybe there are that special person in the family. And the other family members are like, oh wow, okay, this person really took care of my family member. I'll go there too.
Yeah.
That's you want to be nice to these people. Sometimes they just need a little
extra love.
Don't know how to turn your headlights on. What kind of car do you have? Green one. Well,
no.
It's not a lie. But it was green, and it was. But I wanted to know that it was a Honda Civic. Anyway. Next customer that you're gonna have is who should we go next? Parts provided guy. Parts provided guy. Already tried to fix it himself.
Most likely.
And he messed it up way worse, and he's gonna want a discount because he already did some of it.
Yeah. Already did half the job.
Yeah, I just can't get this one bolt out, and then it's the one that makes the paying of the job. The reason it's a 6-hour flat rate, not a 20-minute flat rate, is that bolt.
Yep.
That
bolt
that
takes
one
3
bolt,
hours to get out.
Yeah, that's the one that's the guy, and how you identify this guy is he'll call and say, how much to put an alternator on a 2003 whatever. What's one that's actually hard? Isuzu Rodeo, 2003 Isuzu Rodeo. It's down the bottom. It's painted button. And he's like, and we're like, well, how do you know it needs an alternator? First clue is when they ask for a price on something specific, and they don't have a car problem. They don't say.
They don't give you symptoms or
They don't give you
like that.
symptoms. They just how much for this.
Yeah.
That guy is a problem. So be aware of that guy, because if you give him a price and you show up, he's got the alternator. It's probably used or eBay or some
Just
junky,
garbage,
cheap part store part that's not going to work.
Really bad.
You'll install it entirely properly and watch it won't work. And then he'll be like, well, you must not have done it right. And then he won't pay.
Yeah.
And
Or there
then
was
you're gonna
other
end up in
issues
there.
with the car, and he blames
Right.
them on
And
you.
then he didn't diagnose it right. It wasn't actually an alternator. His problem was like a battery connection. And somehow it's going to be your fault. So I would advise parts provided guy, walk away.
Yeah. That's a walk
Unless it's like
somebody you might know and you're really close to, but even then, still just be careful.
well, you have to kind of feel it out. I need a headlight. I already have the headlight. That's pretty hard. That's pretty hard to mess that up. So, even then, but still, be leery of that guy when they provide their own stuff. Did they diagnose it right? I would say 50% of the time, no.
Yeah.
And that's like a huge, I wouldn't gamble. Yeah, 50% of parachutes open. Would you go skydiving?
No.
Hell no. No, I wouldn't. So that's not
you go
gambling
twice, you're
odds.
going to die once.
Yeah.
I mean, nope.
I'm out.
Yeah.
But a parts provided guy, he's a problem. You're going to end up in trouble with that guy. Just don't. That's really all I have to say about him.
Don't like that guy.
While you're here, guy.
Oh boy.
Or
Those are
girl.
the ones,
Or girl.
Yeah.
While you're here, guy.
These are all
That's
girls
been a
or
female
guys,
before.
But these are the ones that the employees will hate.
Or any of the other genders. I mean, they could be an attack helicopter.
Who knows?
Right? Whatever they identify. I don't actually care. I just fix your car, people. That's all I care about. So, and the fact that you pay. We'll get to Mr.
That's important.
Mr. Don't Want to Pay is on this list. We'll get there too.
There's plenty of those out there.
Yep. So while you're here, guy is they will call you. I need my AC doesn't work. I want to buy your special on free on charge, right? And I'm like, cool. Well, that takes an hour, so I schedule an hour for it to go to their house, charge their Freon system, and maybe do a light inspection, check the fluids, brakes, just light stuff. Takes an hour. Real story. I got to that guy's house. He goes, while you're here, I want to clean my radiator. Can you do that? Yeah, but it was a Dodge truck, which means you have to take the
bumper
condenser off, and to get that off, you need the front bumper off. It's a 98 and it's a Cummins. And then to get to the front of the radiator to spray clean it with a garden hose pressure washer adapter thing, you have to take the intercooler off. And that, you have to unhook all this stuff and be like a yoga master to get the hoses off.
Needless to say, a 1 hour flat rate became an all-day
It was
affair.
all day.
Like,
we were there from 9 a.m. to like 6.
It was a long
And it was like, and somebody in the comments is going to go, well, taking an intercooler out of a Dodge only takes 15 minutes. What are you talking about? And it's like, no, it doesn't. And you're an idiot.
You're doing something wrong.
He's
like,
taking it out with a sawzall.
Yeah, if I had like a massive saw, like
I'll get it out in 15 minutes. But
less than that.
If you're trying not to break stuff, also this vehicle had been in a wreck.
Yeah,
so stuff was bent. Like that made it worse.
Difficult than it should have been.
It had some body work that was done on a severe budget, and things didn't quite line up perfectly. But we did. We got it. Out. We were able to clean it, and we were able to get done for the customer. But like, while you're here, guy.
Sometimes, like, they'll catch you on a good day where you have time to actually do those while you're here, sort of thing.
But it's hard to turn it away because a lot of people, it's impulse.
Yeah.
Oh, the mechanic's here, I need this, let's go ahead and do it. And they'll only, like, if you try to schedule that repair later, they're never going to have time, they don't want to pay for it, whatever. But while you're there, and they will, it's weird how that works. But you'll notice that if you're in business, that's just a phenomenon that goes on. I'm not really sure what's up with that, but that's just something I've noticed. So while you're here, guy, you need to be aware of that. So a question to ask when you're on the phone with these customers is that everything your vehicle needs? Is there anything else we can do for you while we're there?
Yeah, that really avoids the situation.
Kind of reeling in, are you about to be the while you're here guy, so you know what to schedule?
Yeah.
There's only so many hours in the day. I refuse to work all hours of the night. I used to when I first started. You might have to when you first start, work all the time, but let me tell you, it's a strain, especially if you've got a family or,
any kind of social life,
like, or even especially if you're in school.
Yeah.
If you're starting your business and you're still in school, that's half impossible when you're working on it. You're not gonna get any sleep, and then you're an idiot in class, and that's no bueno.
Or when you're working on a car.
Speaking from experience.
Look, I run a business. I work in this one, and I go to school. It's a lot, but sometimes sleep has to take a hike.
Yeah.
I edit this video, so you better watch it.
I'm gonna have a little emoji turd on my head or something.
More than that.
Wow. All right. Bad schedule guy. I'll be there at 3:00.
Oh, it shows up at like 1 or at like
6
8 o'clock at night.
8,
And you never know. Yeah.
The guy who just cannot keep schedule. Somebody's early, somebody's like, if you have someone who's habitually early, you can at least plan.
Yeah.
Somebody who's habitually late, you can at least plan. Somebody who's all over the dang map, like just, what are you supposed to do with that? Like,
show up early, could show up super late. Like no clue.
You can put them at lunchtime and they won't show up till dinner time, or they'll like completely forget entirely. Like it's just a wild.
You coming today?
Right.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
sorry, man.
Bad schedule guy is, and you can negate some of bad schedule guy by sending out reminder texts.
Yeah.
And like emails and like confirming appointments and stuff, but like you're never gonna get rid of him. He exists. He exists, and you know what? A lot of times it's a she. I noticed.
Yeah.
Especially if they have like a lot of kids, and it's a stay-at-home mom, and I think they get caught up in the 100-mile-an-hour of like
having like 5 Jimmys running around,
right?
Constantly
like, dealing with that, and then it doesn't happen. So again, like not that these people are bad. These are just the customers you're going to come across, and also the same person who's got those 5 kids. Guaranteed is going to have that minivan with the quarters in the CD player. Like rattles like all hell. Real story too. Like
boogers on the back seat.
Boogers in the back seat and like month-old French fry smell under it when you got to do the fuel pump.
Yep.
Bull. I think the worst thing ever regarding kids was the like dried up vomit on the carpet.
What?
It was in a Toyota Sequoia.
No way.
It was in a Toyota Sequoia. And
it
had third row seating, and somebody had thrown up, and it just fossilized.
How do you not clean that?
These people, dude, there are hoarder cars out there.
I
should have put him on the list.
I've seen a few of them.
I didn't put hoarder cars on the list, but you will come across.
This is like bonus meme for meme review. This is bonus customer, hoarder customer.
Hoarder customer.
Just bring a gas mask. Like if you're already COVID compliant, you're pretty much safe. But
no, you need like a candle and like some incense and a Ouija board to fix your damn car. Like,
if you strike a candle, the whole car blows up.
Right? Just so much methane in there, just boom.
We need a new car now. Total it by
We really have a customer with a Corolla who the car is weighed down so much that the struts preemptively go bad and we can't warranty them because they have so much crap. Like if you sit in the driver's seat, there's space for the driver's seat, and you look to your right. You know who I'm talking about. You've worked on this car.
I think I know
you can't see out the passenger window. There's so much crap in there. Like how do you safely
drive? How does people exist? I would go nuts.
Like, dude, just throw the trash out. It's not like stuff. It's not like stuff. Like it's not like they forgot to take like Mima's chairs out of the back of like a truck.
Yeah.
No, it's like
garbage.
Crap. It's garbage. It's gross. Like it's like pizza boxes and wrappers and drinks, and it's bleh. So hoarder cars, you're gonna get those. Now it's customer story time before we get like any further into like the weird and the scammy and all that stuff.
This one isn't weird.
This one isn't weird. It's not even ignorant. It's more just like
goofy
stuff you're gonna come across. And I used to work at a dealership that specialized in BMW, Audi, Volkswagen. And while I was there, we had a customer come in. It was a husband and wife. The husband was driving the wife's car while his was in the shop. So he gets out, and he was significantly taller than her. And she gets in the driver's seat to drive away because he's picking up his car. But when she does, she tries to move the seat up. And if you know BMWs, the seat adjustment's in the middle console. She tried to move it and it went, and it would not move. So she comes inside, and she's like, hey, my seat doesn't move. You know, I can't reach the pedals. It's kind of important that I be able to do that. So can you look at them? Absolutely. I go and get the car. I bring it in. And always, for anyone who's going to get in this industry, whether you're going to run a shop or just be a technician, confirm the customer complaint. Don't just start taking stuff apart and believe in them. Just confirm that it doesn't work. Yeah. Maybe they don't know how to turn their headlights on.
Also, another thing, when you're getting in a customer's car, it's always good to ask them almost like, you have anything to declare, like inside your car?
No, I didn't know that at the time, and
that is a good practice. That is a good practice.
It is.
Especially if you're gonna like, you're changing out an air cabin filter,
air filters,
and you drop the glove box. You never know what's in there. It could be anything from contraband to weapons to stuff that you just didn't want to see.
Personal pleasure devices.
Yes,
lots of those.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, we pull the car in, and I confirm I'm moving the button, and I can hear it trying to move. I hear the motor, and it's just not happening. So I get out, and I pull the little leather plastic panel off the side. It was an older BMW, like 2006, 2008. I don't remember. Pull the plastic panel off, and I look under there with a flashlight, and there is a giant. This is not an exaggeration. This is how big this damn thing is. And it is a double-headed, sparkle purple personal pleasure device, double-ended dong. And it is like wrapped in the shape of a horseshoe or a toilet seat. And it is like both heads are like jamming into the ground as the seat's trying to move forward. And I couldn't keep my cool. I had to tell everyone.
You just died.
Like, I'm just like, what? Like, this thing had like veins on it. Like, it was like, whoa! Like, oh my god!
I can't imagine how embarrassed you would have been.
Well, we have to go tell the customer what's wrong with the car as a diagnostic. I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. It's a biohazard.
No, don't touch it. Yeah.
Don't touch those things when you find them because you will get gonorrhea persiflage from that stuff. You know where it's been. It's not okay.
To people who don't know what gonorrhea persiflage is,
that's like generics for like
all of them.
All of the STDs.
Yeah,
like you don't need that in your life.
Nope.
So I did not touch it. Don't even try to touch it with gloves. Touch nothing. I went into the office. I kind of told the service writer what was going on. And they were like, okay, we'll get the customer to, remove
the object.
The item. And I was like, cool. So we got the liability form, went out there, and I was like, who has the whatever 2008, whatever, BMW came in here for the seat problem. She's like, it's me. Super attractive female, by the way. Like, fucking 10 out of 10. If you're watching this, that's awesome.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. Like,
there can't be this many people out there who've done this.
Well, I bet there is.
Who knows? Yeah.
But anyway, so she comes out. She's like, "What's wrong with my car?" I said, "Well, it's the motor." I'm like, seriously, like, most professional face ever. There's a foreign object blocking the motor.
A foreign object is blocking.
There's a foreign object blocking the motor, and I was like, you need to come see this. So we walk out into the shop, and I just hold a flashlight at her eye level, and under the seat, she could see the big purple foreign object. She turned bright red, dude. She was, I don't have anything, right? She turned bright red of embarrassment of this giant dog under the seat. And that was a good time. So she actually ended up we put the plastic panel on, she paid diagnostic and left. So magically she could reach the pedals again. It's amazing.
That's funny.
But that's, I'm not removing that. I'm not touching that. I had a good laugh at that one. So that's one of my good customer stories. So yeah, we had a guy who asked us to replace a single spark plug, and I told him it wouldn't fix it, and he wanted us to replace just one anyway. I said, okay, stupidly. I know now you won't ever tell a customer you'll do that ever. We replaced a single spark plug on his V6. Magically, it doesn't fix his other problems. And he decided he wanted his money back and didn't want to pay. This is after we went through trying to get him to pay, and he tried to pay with like African zeal.
Well, that's
and,
a good segue into the guy who doesn't pay.
That is a good segue into the guy that doesn't pay. So people who don't pay. Here's your problem. If you're a mobile service, like most of you will start out as, in the state of Georgia, you had very little rights, which is very difficult because the scammers know that. And you can only file a mechanic's lien if you have custody of the car. So if you go to a shop and you don't pay your bill, they file a lien against you and they get possession of the car as collateral. If you're a mobile mechanic, you've gone to their house to do the work. You don't have their car in your custody. It's in their custody. So you need to be very sure that you get these people to sign something saying, for this work, I agree to pay this price. Now, we have 3-piece carbon copy invoices, but it could literally be as simple as you make yourself like a Word doc or a Notes doc or whatever. I don't know. You, technology person.
You can make a Google Doc. It's
whatever.
Free.
That has like an agreement that, this is the work I'm doing, this is the price, and they sign agreeing to it. That way, they don't have to prepay. They just agree to pay. The problem with prepaying, a lot of people say, well, get your money up front. That's what every Craigslist scam mechanic on earth does. Oh yeah, I need $300 to fix your car. They give him $300. You'll never see him again.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna paint your truck and pay me up front, and then they never show up.
Yeah, that might have happened to me.
Sorry to rub some salt in that wound, but it's true. These people exist. You need to know.
So I don't blame customers for not wanting to pay up front. You'll scare off a lot of good quality customers that way because it is a common scam that these crackhead mechanics are doing.
Crackhead mechanics.
90% of the ones doing that scam are crackheads.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. So, So for the don't pay, make sure you get an agreement because then you can sue them for the value. And if they don't pay you anything at all, it's a crime. At least in theft. It's called theft of services, and it's in the state of Georgia. I don't know about other states, but here it is. If they don't pay anything, that's like taking something and not paying for it. That's called theft. They can go to jail for it. You can actually take a warrant out for their arrest, which is very nice. I've had to actually do that before. Customer agreed to pay. We fixed it. We went on a test drive with the customer, and it was fixed, and they were happy, and they said, yep, my husband will be back in 2 hours to pay you. I'm not waiting in your apartment complex for 2 hours, so, I'll be back. So I come back. They wouldn't let me through the gate. Didn't want to pay. Took a warrant out for him.
What do you do then,
Well, you wait for the government to go arrest him, which it's been
forever.
2 years and still haven't done it. Thanks. Glad I pay for that. Anyway, that's a whole different rant on government and running your business. That would be a good episode. I will definitely be amped up.
Two clash pretty often.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what you do with don't pay. You have to get your paperwork in order. So if they don't pay, then you can retaliate by lawsuit or theft of services warrant, whatever you need to do to make sure you get paid for the work you do. However, if you have a situation where you're doing a repair and in the process of doing the repair you find they need more work, update the paperwork. Or stop right there, talk to them. Hey, do you want me to do this while I'm in here? Whatever it is. You know, if you're doing a water pump and you have to take the fan shroud out, you take the fan shroud out and you find something else broken. I don't know, a fitting, a hose leak, something like that.
Like one of the fans even.
One of the fans is broken. Anything like that, you need to note that on your paperwork. Say, you know, this is broken for additional cost of X dollars I can repair. Write a fresh invoice with that on there. Get them to agree to that. Yeah. If you want to do it.
One thing that's really
document.
Yeah, and I like, I mean, of course, sure, I'm going to talk to all your customers this way, but I think it's nice to talk to your customers through text because it's a written, you know, it's in writing.
It is, but when you're standing there with them, you're not going to be like, hey, hold on a second, I need to text you.
I know what you mean, yeah, but that's another way, like, to just keep your texts with customers.
Be like.
Gosh. But keep your text with customers because you never know when it'll come in handy.
Right, you do need to keep your text. Screenshots are really good too, but that really works for when a check bounces the work done, because when you get somebody writes you a bad check, I don't even think anyone should take checks anymore because it's too much of a pain in the butt. I had a customer write me a bad check, and I texted them and I said, hey, how's the car doing? And they said, oh, it's absolutely fine. Thanks for fixing it. Great. So proof I fixed it right there and that they're a happy customer. Hey, you know, the check you wrote me, it came back as no bueno. Is there any way we can get this resolved? And they were able to resolve the issue by paying me with cash. Plus, I did make them pay for the fees I got charged for the bounced check because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I was able to resolve that without any further issue.
But if there was an issue where they're like, well, actually, now that
I'm not paying because you didn't fix it right. Well, I had right there in text that it was fixed right. And it was fine. But that's a very unique case. But definitely documentation and keeping your text is a good way to do it. Also, because of that exact reason, don't mouth off, be threatening, anything like that. Keep it professional when you're texting customers. You don't, you know, if you don't pay, I'm on fill in the blank. No.
I'm going to come to your house with a baseball bat.
That's not how this goes. You don't ever do that. You have ways. You're going to win in the end if you're doing the right thing. There's ways to do it. Don't lose your cool. Don't lose it with them. However, I did have a customer call just screaming at me, the same one who didn't want to pay with the that I had to take the warrant out on. They would just scream at me, and I just hung up on them. Like, you don't have to take that abuse. No. You don't have to take that abuse. You don't have to put up with that. Nope.
If they're being over the top unprofessional, you just don't even have to respond.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be unprofessional back. Don't scream back. But just
don't escalate.
Listen to it. Yeah.
But you don't have to put up with abuse. Nope. Absolutely not. So that's what you can do about that. So that's what you do with Mr. I don't want to pay or Mrs. I don't want to pay, is you cover your butt thoroughly with paperwork and then go through the legal channels to make sure you get paid. Or, and this is where you have to make sure you don't work on only crap. If they don't pay and you end up owning the car as collateral, if you do have it at a shop, make sure that you're not upside down.
Yeah.
If you do $600 of work on a $200 car, that was stupid of you. You should have told the customer, hey, it's not worth fixing. That would have avoided that whole problem. You know, anybody who does, I want to put an engine in my 1991, Chevy Cavalier, real customer. That guy never finished paying for the engine swap. He made a couple of payments, and never take payments, by the way. Because as soon as the car breaks down again, which if it's a 1991 Chevy Cavalier, it's going to break down again. Yeah, as soon as it breaks down again, the payments stop, and then you're screwed because it's not theft of services, it's an agreement violation, and it's a huge legal you never get anywhere. And just don't take payments. Pay up front for the engine, pay for the labor on completion, move on. Do not take payments. You will only get burned.
Yeah, and stuff like this is just, it might be so hard for somebody starting out because like some of your clientele could only afford it payments, but just trust me, in the long run,
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it because you would lose money at the end of the day.
Well, think about it this way. If their own family's not willing to loan them the money and they're the ones who know them best, you shouldn't loan them the money.
Customer. Yeah.
You shouldn't loan them money.
Exactly. So next customer?
So that's Mr. Don't Pay. The scams. I love the scammy guys. Like Mr. One Spark Plug. My favorite one is when the car is junk and they're trying to get some sort of money out of it and they know they can't sell it. So they'll call you to do an oil change and then, they'll go to another shop.
They
don't actually go to another shop. They go to another shop and they
ask
say,
their buddy
"Oh,
across the street,
you destroyed my engine. There was no oil in it. You're gonna pay for this," and they're gonna do all this crap. And that happens way more than you think. So it's very important that you test drive the car after you're done and note everything else that's wrong with it. Like I was saying with Mr. Don't Pay, you got to document. If you get to a customer's house and you check there's oil and you're going to start it before you do the oil change and it knocks loud as bejesus, you note that before that guy signs that paperwork saying this engine knocked before I did this oil change. Maybe, depending on how bad a condition the car's in, don't even work on it. Don't even do the oil. It's not worth the, however many dollars you're going to make off that oil change, not worth the headache. I had to deal with that guy forever. Because especially if that's the first time dealing with that customer and you don't have an established rapport, you don't want to deal with that guy at all. You don't want the lawsuit. You don't want the BS that comes with it. There's so many scammers that pull that crap. You got to learn to filter them out. A lot of times it's the same story. Oh, my cousin or my buddy uses you. He says you're the best. I got so much work for you. Whenever they have so much work for you, that's a key word that they're.
I can get you so many customers.
Yeah,
like,
no, they're a dirtbag. No, don't. And the people who can get you a lot of customers, they don't say that at first.
No.
Like, they'll just be like, hey, my mom has a car. Now that you're done with mine, can you go look at hers? And then you get the ball rolling. You'll get a bunch of customers that way. The people who always up front, first time I ever heard them, and it sounds good when you're new to business. You're like, oh, sweet, a bunch of customers. I need them. Yeah, I'll give you a discount. And then you end up, you owe me an engine. Because you needed an engine before I got there. No. Ever Since You customer is a customer we got to go over. And story time. Had a late 90s Cadillac come in with the Death Star. It's actually called North Star, but in the business we call it Death Star engine because it's a piece of like, there's nothing nice about this car at all. It's gonna blow that up, you up, your shop up, burn everything down. The whole neighborhood is like it's over. You're gonna do a lot of bleeping in that scene. So
yeah, thanks a lot.
I hate that engine. It deserves it. So, had one come in. I was a new shop. Was doing an oil change on it. I did the oil change on it. But when I pulled the car and I rolled the window down so I didn't lock the keys in the car, it was just habit from working at the dealer. I turned it off, put the keys on the dash, did the oil change, put it back down, cranked it, ran it, gave her a new sticker. Everything was going fine. I pulled out, backed it out, put it in park. She paid, got in her car, went to roll the window up. Window wouldn't roll back up. She had determined that I had broken her window, which is a weird situation because when she got there, the window was up. She's leaving, the window won't roll up.
Yeah.
You need to have a plan for how you're going to handle that because literally stuff dies while it's with you, especially when it's old crap like that. And I guess up north they don't have as much old crap because it rusts away and you can kind of blame corrosion, but down here stuff breaks. It's not corroded, it's just old crap. I don't know what else to say to that. Or when you're checking coolant, you check a radiator cap, put it back on, now it leaks. I've seen that before, where you're just doing your inspection and you create a leak.
Old crap that just
That's
falls
just old
apart.
crap that breaks.
Yeah.
And are you going to eat that window regulator? You're going to lose your butt on that oil change, and then is she going to come back? Those are the guys that broke my window. No, you're never going to make any money off that customer now. So what do? You need to ask yourself these questions.
And there's certain things that you just don't do when you get in a car. You just don't. If it's got the electronic seat, moving it.
Yeah, I try not to move the seat.
Don't touch it because.
But the window, I just am so used to rolling the windows down, and it's like, what if you get pulled over? You're gonna just be like, let me just reach for this door handle,
Yeah, isn't that just weird? It's awkward.
Don't move! Roll the window down! What do you think's gonna happen if you
doesn't work? I'm sorry.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? You're gonna explain that through the closed window? It's not gonna go.
My window doesn't work.
You should fix your windows, people, when they're broken. I get some people on a budget. This is a Cadillac. You know what's funny? I find used Cadillacs belong to people on a budget. Same with BMWs. If you got a used BMW, it's because you're on a budget.
Well, think about it. The BMWs, they're good for the first 5 years. After that,
5 years. You are generous.
I'm a nice guy.
You are generous. They're good for about 5 seconds.
The first 5 years, but after that, they just start falling apart ridiculously.
While we were at the dealer, they would unload the brand new vehicles, and we had to inspect them, and they were all leaking oil.
You're kidding.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Brand new. You get a brand new 7 or 5 Series with the V8.
Something must happen when they go overseas.
No, even the ones that were made here because they made the Euro specs where they got the paper gaskets and crap.
I don't understand that.
My favorite was the biodegradable wiring where it would biodegrade while you were driving. This is a rant about European cars. That's another episode. Moving on because we got to stay on task. So that's ever since you. You need to know how to handle that guy or girl. In that case, it was a lady. Liability. Good transition to that one. Customers that are just a big liability. If you got a car coming in there, the owner smokes and his vehicle leaks fuel, that guy should not leave your shop without fixing that.
Yeah, he will die. He will
literally die, and somehow it'll be your fault. So make sure, again, you cover your butt and write this stuff down. This guy has a fuel leak, refuse to fix, advise to fix. Right. I just did this today for a customer. I said, do not drive this car. I wrote it in big letters on the invoice. Car a death trap. I wrote that on the invoice. Do not drive, because the front wheel was falling off, and it was old Volkswagen Cabrio. Piece of crap.
But stuff like that, it's like, not only you're looking out for the customer, but you're looking out for yourself.
Yeah.
That's so important.
And that really happened. The customer with the truck, it was a Ford Ranger, and he was a smoker, and he had a fuel leak. His fuel line had rusted through. It was a Yankee truck. And he was just driving with a cigarette out the window like this.
You're just asking to die.
You're so stupid.
You're asking to die.
Duh. And then warranty and service. That goes into a warranty and service. Don't do work you can't warranty. So if you do something sketchy, how are you going to give a warranty on that? So when you do the repairs, do them 100%. Do it right, and then you won't have trouble warranting it. I think that's why rebuilding alternators and starters is out of practice these days, because warranty would be such a pain in the ass. If all you bought was brushes for a starter or an alternator, and then you rebuild it, and then the voltage regulator goes out, the customer doesn't know the difference. Their battery's just not charging again.
Yeah.
And that's a thing. We did our parts store episode a while back. That's why you should use parts stores and not everybody's going to say Rock Auto and those places. But the reason to not use those is because how do you warranty it? If you have a part that fails that you bought from Advanced or AutoZone or O'Reilly's or whatever, and the customer comes in 6 months later and it's bad, and you gave them a 1-year warranty, the parts stores pay half labor for you to do it again because their part went bad inside of warranty period. So you just take care of it for the customer. Just tell them, nope, don't worry about it. It's covered. Don't charge them anything. You're going to get it on the back end. You're going to get some of your labor back, and you're going to get that part replaced for them. But again, that goes back to don't sell crappy parts.
Yep.
Don't buy the cheapest stuff on the shelf.
Yep.
So the service, though, make sure, tell them what the warranty is, explain what it covers. If you have a radiator job that needs to be done, that includes coolant, of course. Coolant is not covered. If the new radiator goes bad, I'm not buying the coolant.
No.
Parts store's not going to donate the coolant.
No.
They're going to donate a radiator in half labor. You could, I guess, if you have a really good customer, you could eat the coolant because coolant is cheap out of the labor
I would
part.
eat the coolant. It would kill you.
I mean, eat as in front, pay for it.
I know what you mean.
Yes. Obviously, don't go home and be like, oh, this antifreeze looks delicious.
No.
You're gonna first you're gonna have the Hershey squirts out your butt, and then you're probably gonna die. So don't do that.
Yeah.
That brings us around. I think we'll do one more story, and then we'll do.
Gotta do the seafoam.
We'll do
story.
seafoam.
I love the.
And then we'll do how to do a good customer. All right. So.
Oh, so good.
Seafoam story, boys and girls. Customer had a car towed to me. It's a 2014 Chevy Malibu, or a 2015.
Setting the scene.
It was a 14 because it was 2015 when I was
Doesn't matter.
Must have been 15, 16. Anyway, it was a year-old Malibu, and this car around the seam of the hood just looked like toothpaste or puffy melted s'mores marshmallow just around the hood. I'm like, oh, what the Well, it's a good story when the record driver who drops it off comes to your door laughing his ass off. That's when it's gonna be like, what is so funny?
Yeah,
He's like, you gonna find out.
You gonna find out, boy.
You gonna find out. I was, oh my God. I get out there and I gotta open this hood, so I open the door and I smell something. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I try to open the hood. The hood just stays. I pull the wrist and goes, the hood doesn't move at all. I have to go out there and I'm like, bouncing the car, thinking it's stuck. I just stick a pry bar in there and push it. It's a year-old car. Push it over, and then when it opens, it makes that sticker sound, like sound. And it literally looks like somebody has murdered the Michelin Man and lit him on fire under the hood of this
Had to
car.
hide the evidence, man.
I was like, what the hell with this? And like under the back seat, it's a Malibu, and the fuel pump's on the back seat. And the back seat in the middle just looks like just like some Super Mario little like hump thing, like in the middle of the seat. I'm like, what the hell? The gas cap door is also blown off, like open completely. And I'm like,
what has happened?
Gotta call the customer. Call the customer. Hey, Xander with Grumpy Monkey Garage. What the heck happened to this car before it came here? She's like, well, it didn't run this morning. I'm like, I got that part.
Yeah.
What the heck happened before it didn't run?
I don't believe that. It definitely got here.
I get the story. She said she went to AutoZone because the check engine light was on, and this was pre-COVID, so they were doing the scanning of the check engine lights. They scanned it, said she had misfire codes, and she needed spark plugs. So her and her dad changed the spark plugs, and a couple weeks later, check engine light came back on. She goes there, it's another misfire code, and they try to sell her Seafoam. Now, Seafoam, if you don't know, it is fuel injector, gas tank cleaner, carb cleaner, whatever, and it's a good product. But it's in a white and red can, and it's about $12, $13 a bottle around here local for the little bottle at the AutoZone where she was at. And she said, that's ridiculous. So she did this. Hey Siri, where's the cheapest Seafoam? The problem is Siri doesn't know how to spell. Siri pulled up Seafoam, expanding foam for your attic at Home Depot for $8 for a gallon.
Oh, so much cheaper.
That's what she said. So she drives to Home Depot and she gets a gallon of this crap and a funnel. She had to buy a funnel and she put it in her gas tank.
Thought that went into this.
Because she knew at AutoZone they said you just pour it right in your gas tank. So she poured Seafoam into her gas tank. And then the next day it wouldn't start, and that's when it got towed to me. But my favorite part of all this is she did not understand what she had done. Like,
what?
I was talking to her, I was like, so you put the Seafoam in the gas? And she's like, yeah, I put Seafoam there. I'm like, I've used Seafoam in plenty of cars. I've never seen this ever. Where's the bottle? She goes, it's in the trunk. I opened the trunk, and that's how I figured out what she had done. Like, it took straight up detective work to figure this out because, like, God. And, like, the can says, it's got, like, a picture of a shed. It's, like, great for addicts in sheds. Like, and you put this in your car. You're an idiot. Like, you're an idiot. And this is my favorite part. I had to call her dad to come get him to pick up the car. It's totaled. Like the valve cover was
coming back.
The valve cover was blown open. The oil pan was blown open. All the fuel lines, the tank, like everything was destroyed. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? So it was destroyed. He's coming to pick it up, and he was so mad. He was so mad. He was red and fuming. He was like, "This is ridiculous. We're still making payments on this car." He was a year old. Like, we're still making payments on this damn car, and it's like destroyed. And I'm like, what the heck? And he's like, yeah, we gave it to her as a graduation present from UGA with a chemistry degree. That's like the icing on the cake. Is like this girl has chemistry, didn't read the freaking label. Like, they must just hand out degrees. Slow down. Like, degree for you.
Slow down. Go like in $100,000 in debt, and then we'll give you a degree.
Right. Yeah.
Right,
like,
cool.
yeah, that's absolutely worthless because you don't even read the ingredients or anything. Like, it's great for addicts and sheds. Like, that does not say cars, you idiot. So that was pretty good. So, how to be a good customer? Understand that we're just people, and we understand when you come here, your car's broke or whatever. You're having a bad day already. We didn't make you have a bad day. It's not our fault that your car's a piece of junk. It's really not. And those are the people who are frequently mad and, like, not the good customers. Like, you know who good customers are? Toyota Camry guy. You got a Toyota Camry, you're happy. You know why? You just got the cheapest repair bill ever.
Yeah.
And,
half
Toyota Corolla guy,
it's just
it's
maintenance,
fine. 4Runner guy, same thing. It's fine. And then you got Chrysler Cirrus. 1998 Chrysler Cirrus. I need a battery. It's gonna be $500. Why? Well, I gotta take your fender off.
Or Volkswagen.
To change.
You need a whole new car.
Yeah, you need a new car. Like, you got a Volkswagen here.
Sorry to be a bearer of bad news, but like, if you drive a Volkswagen, you just need a new car.
We need to have a button that's just like a piece of car button that just takes like a giant spatula and flings it across the street. And just take your piece of crap out of here. But yeah, that
Pull the lever, Kronk.
you know, if you're a customer and you're trying to be aware and make sure you're not being ripped off. I mean, like obviously we don't have every single person come into our shop, so if you're looking for a mechanic and you're trying to figure out, you know, what shop to go to, or maybe you're a DIY and you've got some advanced happening in your car and you don't want to undertake it, you know, when you go there, just kind of talk to them, you know, see what they think, you know, talk to them about your car. If they immediately go with yeah, I don't even know what to say, you know. You take your diesel truck in and they go, well, when's the last time you changed your spark plugs? Maybe you need to go somewhere else because diesels don't have spark plugs. So that's
it looks like your headlight fluid's running low.
Yeah, your muffler bearings need grease, you know, whatever. But like, it's just they don't fall for that crap. Yeah. But you know, we want you to be aware. You know, that's why I make these videos so that my customers can watch these videos and be like, yeah, you know, that's what goes into it. That's why it costs that much. You know?
We also do other videos about, you know, this is how a car works. This is how an engine works.
To kind of explain this stuff, because if you know about your car, you know what we're about to get into, and you know why it costs so much. And maybe you can make a better determination on what kind of cars to buy. Because if you know, for instance, I'm calling you out of this entire series, Chrysler, the new Ram ProMaster vans, where you have to take part of the dashboard out to change the front struts. If you understand how struts work and how the top bolts have to come off, and then I tell you where they are and then show you where they are, you probably won't buy that van again.
No.
You'll probably, get smart about it and buy a Toyota and not have those problems. I keep saying this, but if everyone bought a Toyota, I probably wouldn't be in business.
Chevys aren't that bad.
Chevys are pretty good.
Chevys are pretty good.
They don't have that much trouble. GMC's.
Kia's not that bad.
Kia's, it's just
Honda.
Ford and Chrysler just this just need to go out of business. Big toilets. We're gonna need an F-150 commercial for sure on this thing.
Oh,
God, we're gonna get.
They've already seen it.
If we get a commercial for any of the brands we're pooping on right now, just go ahead and
let us
put that in the comments.
Please, it'd be so funny
because it's good.
Oh man.
But yeah, be an educated customer. Don't be a weenie. Basically, and don't be any of these other customers. I don't mind explaining it. If you ask, why is my catalytic converter bad, we can explain it to you. Why is my check engine light on? We can explain it to you. If they can't explain what's wrong with it, maybe that's not the shop for you.
Yeah,
so being a good customer also is for your benefit as a customer. You should know what questions to ask. Like, why am I being charged this much? Well, in the case of that ProMaster I just mentioned, we had to take part of your dashboard out to change your struts. That's why it costs, more than $1,000 to change strut.
Yeah, and those dashboards break easily, and I mean,
we didn't break any on that one though.
No, thank goodness.
It actually came apart. Like every plastic clip survived. I was like, way to go.
Awesome.
That never happens. They're always broke. But that does happen a lot. Why does a heater core cost so much? Well, it's behind the dash or any of those things. We don't mind explaining. So those are things that you should look for, is their ability to explain it to you in a manner in which you understand it.
Yeah.
And I think we can end this on one final story.
An awesome story. This is another really good one. I love this story too.
They've all heard these before. Man. I tell them at the parts stores to make those parts store people like us more.
Yeah. And if you want to know more about working with parts stores, we also have a video about that. Yes. Link will be in the description, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyway,
we should put it right here, one of those
right on your face
bubble things. Click right here.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
Really?
They got rid of them, in 2018.
See, this is why I don't do technology. Yeah. Anyway.
That's so 2 years ago.
Oh my God, you're a weenie. So I had a customer call me, I think it was Wednesday. It was a Wednesday, and they said they got their Dodge Journey out of a dealership. It had been in for service. They charged her $1,200. She drove it home, and now the car doesn't run. And she was upset, thinks she's getting ripped off. Somebody gave her my number, and she called and said, yeah, I can be there tomorrow. We'll check it out for you. I get there. Were you with me on that one?
I wasn't with you on that one.
Okay, so I get to the house.
Not that one.
And the customer's not there. It's her mom that's there. And her mom comes out the house and hands me the keys and go, this is Denise's keys. And I'm like, cool. So her name's not actually Denise. It's just the name I'm using. Get in the car, turn the key on, and the fuel gauge has an F and an E. It's way past E, way down there with this little light on that's shaped like a gas pump. I don't know what the hell that could mean. So I check the fluids, I check all the basics, Does it turn over? Yes. You know, sometimes when a fuel pump goes bad, the fuel gauge will say empty even though it's not. And I was like, this is worth trying. I'm going to put 2 gallons in it. And I keep gas on the company truck, so I took a couple gallons of gas, put 2 in it, fuel gauge came up, car started. That's pretty stupid, but people run out of gas all the time. I didn't really think anything of it. You know, people get distracted. I mean, they got kids, whatever. And Mom's like, no, we're going to give her a proper shaming. She'll be home in 5 minutes. You need to stay and tell her what you just did. I'm game.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I'm game.
Yeah,
I cannot wait to see this. Well, the daughter had left in Mom's Volkswagen, so the Volkswagen was gone. We hear it coming back up. It goes, naka, 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 and it pulls up the driveway. I was like, oh my God, what is that? And this is the conversation that proceeds to take place. Denise, I done told you put 3 quarts of oil in there before you went to the stove. She's like, I did, Ma. So she opens the hood, and there's just smoke coming out from this hood. I'm like, oh my God, what a piece of crap. And she goes in the garage. You know, we check the oil. It's completely out. So she goes and she, give me that water bottle. I'm going to demonstrate for the class here. So she goes in the garage and she gets a quart of oil. Pretend this is a quart of oil. She opens the hood and she adds a quart of oil to the engine just like this. She just pours oil on the engine like syrup on pancakes.
Yeah.
And Mom standing there goes, you need to add 2 more now.
I just...
It's a hot engine, and she's just like... And then the fact that the mom didn't get it, like, just made it that much better.
This isn't like the squeaky hinge on a door, ma'am.
Like, no, like, there's actually an oil cap. And I tried to explain it, they didn't understand. And I was like...
They didn't understand if you explained it?
I kept trying to explain to them, like, you have to put it in here. They're like, yeah, I put it on the engine. And I'm like, oh my God.
No. It goes in the engine. You
open
up the thing, and it goes
inside
in there.
the engine. But then I'm realizing I'm talking to people who just ran 1 car out of gas and couldn't figure out why it wouldn't start.
These people exist. These people actually exist.
These are the ignorant customers that I was just like,
These are the penultimate, like, ignorant customers. You just feel bad for these people.
Eventually what I did was I took a funnel out of the truck and I opened the oil cap and I put the funnel in there and I added one of my quarts and I was like, this is going in. I pulled the stick and I said, see how it says there's some in there now? And they were just like,
amazing.
No, they
miracle worker.
Blank.
What a wizard.
Like, no, they didn't what a wizard. They just blank. No, they did not.
Just nothing.
Nothing. So that's special. I don't think they'll be able to find this video. That would require them to know how to use a computer or anything at all. So I don't think they'll be able to watch this one. But yeah, so that's my last story. I can't decide who's dumber. Please put in the comments because we've had an argument in the shop. Is the Seafoam lady dumber with the chemistry degree putting Seafoam in the gas tank? Seafoam.
Yeah.
Or is the Volkswagen Denise add 3 quarts of oil dumber? Also, she knew it was 3 quarts.
I mean, it does say on the cap, but then why don't you just take the cap off? And I don't understand.
That doesn't tell you the
capacity. It doesn't tell you.
No, it tells you what type.
It tells you what type.
Which they were adding the wrong type.
I don't understand.
But like, how did you know it was 3 quarts low? I'm just curious. Lots didn't make sense. And we have more stories, but a lot of them we have to keep to ourselves for current reasons, and we'll have to come up with another video of just nutty customer stories.
Eventually we can share them. They're too current.
Yeah, they're fresh.
Anyway, if you want to hear more stories, we've got plenty of other videos. And if you want to subscribe, hit the bell notification, keep you updated on what we've got.
Welcome to the palace.
Yeah. We got plenty of more stories. So that's it for this video. You want to say your spiel?
It's awesome. We'll see you guys next time. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Bye.